Welcome to Vinyl Vortex, where we review all your favourite video game soundtracks. Bloodborne was released in 2015. The album was produced by Laced Records and composed by Chris Valesco and Michael Wanmacher, alongside many others. The game sold over 2 million copies worldwide. I am not sure about the album itself, however, with the game being such a popular game that it is, I wouldn't be surprised if the soundtrack sold just as many, or if not even more copies than the game did itself. With a runtime of over 70 minutes, over 21 tracks, alongside a 65-piece choir, a 32-piece orchestra, and multiple soloists. So having said all that, you best drink your blood vial, sharpen your sword cleaver, because we're reviewing Bloodborne. The deluxe gatefold sleeve and a BAFTA award-winning album. You have the songs such as The Dream Refuge, which is where you're in your safe haven within the Hunter's Dream. Even though it's a safe zone where you can seek advice from the doll, it still has that lingering sound where you don't know if it's quite safe. You never know, there might be something knocking about within the mist that surrounds the mansion and the graveyard. As you slay monsters through the city of Yharnam, the soundtrack keeps the hairs on the back of your neck stood up at all times, because you never know what might be around the corner, hiding in the shadows, travelling through the streets of Yharnam, slaying possessed souls or the cleric beast. Each to their own are formidable foes you have to defeat, and then you come across people such as Father Gascon, who seems like a lost old man, but when you come to fight him, you can actually transform him into an intimidating foe, travelling through the Forbidden Woods, climbing a clock tower, or even searching through the dungeons of a local cathedral. Each environment has similar music, but it sounds completely different at the same time. That's what I love about the score. Even though it has to stick to the same genre, whether or not you're passing through one location or another, the music sounds completely different from one area of the map to the other, but then it sounds so similar at the same time, which I think they've composed really well. From a video game soundtrack standpoint, the Bloodborne and Dark Souls franchise are probably in like the top 3 of my favourite video game soundtracks of all time, purely because Bloodborne is one of my favourite games. Like when I first played it, everyone was like, oh, it's really hard, expect to die a lot, and I was like, can't be that hard. I died too many times to count throughout playing this game. Plus I played this before Dark Souls, which is why I think fair this more than Dark Souls, and purely because I like that Victorian sort of style, the gothic like scenery as well. Definitely recommend it though, and even more so, I definitely recommend you listen to the soundtrack. When you first wake up in the Hunter's Dream, you're approached by the doll and her creator German, who then help you throughout your quest and your journey. So we have the gatefold cover with the hunter up close in a sort of silhouette style, but not 100% silhouette, as you can still see some detail throughout them, with the title Bloodborne in white and the official soundtrack in gold, which I think is a really nice touch. And as you open it up and have the hunter in the city of Yharnam stood in front of a building, just pouring smoke into the sky, which is making it harder for the moonlight to pierce through. And even having said that, you've got like a small amount of fire. You just tell, just from looking at this image, you never know what's going to be lurking in the shadows and what kind of a nightmare this game's really going to put you through. And on the back, again with the gold font, which I think is really nicely just adds a bit more flair to the artwork. You have the soundtracks, and then again a little bit more information just saying that it's licensed by Sony Entertainment and partnered with PlayStation. There's a running joke where it's like the human-sized creatures are sometimes a lot more stronger than the 50-foot creature you have to fight at some point as well, which I think is quite good because you don't expect them to be so strong, and it always just keeps you on your toes and on edge, the same way the music has that same vibe as well. I mean, as you can see, like, I love the game that much. I even not only have the game itself, the vinyl, but I even had to get myself a little statue as well, just because I just think he's got like such a cool design to him, with like the high boots, the long trench coat, and then just like the massive weapons just look really cool. And I reckon at some point I'll probably buy a replica one of them as well, just to have as a keepsake. When I first play this, or even when I play now, there are still some times when the music just like hits that like gloomy and eerie effect, and I'm just like, why does that kind of music have to kick in right now? And it's always just before like something jumps out on you Another thing it comes with, which I think is really nice, this piece of artwork, which comes with all the people who worked on the different songs, all the different scores, and all the minds just went into creating such a beautiful album. And then as you turn it over, you have a picture of the hunter's dream where you wake up later on in the game, and good things and negative things come from this one location. I won't spoil it for you because you'll have to go and play the game yourself or just watch a walkthrough. As soon as I came across this album, I had to buy it straight away, purely because one of my favourite games, if not my favourite, it's probably like tied for like the first spot. And it was also to go with my Dark Souls collection, because I have the complete soundtrack on vinyl for that as well, which I will be reviewing at some point. And then I'll probably do a video with all 4 albums, comparing which ones I think are my favourite from top to bottom, essentially. So I have the black disc. I believe there's a green one you can buy as well. I did not know that when I purchased this, but I'm kind of happy that I got the black one rather than the green one. I do prefer the coloured vinyls, but I think that the black disc just fits well with Bloodborne, purely because it's got such a dark tone to the game, and I feel like the black disc also symbolises like the darkness throughout the game. Having said that, if I was to perhaps design the disc myself with my own colours, I would probably still keep it black, but with like a very, very dark red colour, lightly splattered on top of the disc. That way it's like a subtle effect and it's not like too in your face. Another thing I'd have done is with the yellow trim here, I'd have tried to make it gold, just so it matches the gold trim on the artwork itself. It has the doll on one side, and then I believe on the other side it has the hunter. On the opposite disc, it has the creatures which surround the lamp. So as always, let me know in the comments below what your favourite parts of the soundtrack or the game itself are within Bloodborne. Are you more of a Bloodborne fan or a Dark Souls fan? Remember guys, to enable notifications, leave a like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And always remember, the vortex is open.